From an early age, many women are taught a silent rule that is rarely spoken aloud, yet deeply internalized. The rule suggests that acceptance must be earned, approval must be secured, and belonging must be negotiated. Over time, this subtle conditioning becomes a psychological script that shapes how choices are made. As children, expressions of independence may have been met with correction, withdrawal of affection, or subtle disappointment. These experiences are not always traumatic in an obvious way, yet they leave emotional imprints that influence adult behavior. Through repetition, the mind learns to associate compliance with safety and autonomy with risk. This association creates a subconscious preference for seeking permission before taking action, even when external approval is no longer necessary. Social conditioning reinforces this pattern. Cultural narratives often reward women for being agreeable, adaptable, and accommodating. These traits are praised as virtues, yet they can also function as mechanisms that limit psychological freedom. Over time, the habit of asking permission becomes less about external authority and more about internal doubt. A woman may begin to question her instincts, her desires, and even her right to define her own direction. Fear of rejection plays a significant role in maintaining this pattern. Human beings are wired for connection, and the possibility of social exclusion can trigger deep emotional discomfort that influences decision-making. This fear often operates below conscious awareness. It may manifest as hesitation, over-explaining, or seeking reassurance before pursuing opportunities that feel personally meaningful. Dark psychology examines how such fears can be exploited, intentionally or unintentionally, within interpersonal dynamics. Individuals who sense uncertainty may exert subtle influence over those who appear to require validation. Recognizing these dynamics does not imply blame. Instead, it invites awareness of how subconscious obedience can develop as a strategy for maintaining harmony or avoiding perceived conflict. Neuroscience suggests that repeated experiences of approval and disapproval shape neural pathways related to motivation and reward. When approval becomes associated with safety, the brain may prioritize behaviors that maintain external acceptance. This prioritization can limit exploration. Opportunities that require independent decision-making may feel intimidating, not because of actual danger, but because they challenge familiar psychological patterns. Identity programming often occurs through language. Phrases that encourage modesty, caution, or self-sacrifice can be internalized as defining characteristics rather than situational guidance. Over time, these internalized messages create an inner authority figure that monitors behavior. Even in the absence of external supervision, this internal voice may encourage restraint and discourage risk. Mental sovereignty begins when a woman recognizes this internal voice as a learned construct rather than an inherent truth. Awareness creates the possibility of reinterpretation and intentional change. The process of reclaiming autonomy can be emotionally intense. It may involve questioning long-held beliefs about worth, loyalty, and responsibility. Such questioning can feel destabilizing, yet it is often necessary for growth. As awareness deepens, behavioral patterns become more visible. A woman may notice how frequently she seeks confirmation before making decisions that align with her aspirations. Interrupting these patterns requires practice. Choosing to act without prior validation can feel uncomfortable. Yet each independent decision strengthens psychological resilience. Neuroplasticity supports this transformation. New experiences of self-directed action gradually reshape neural pathways, reducing reliance on external approval. During this transition, relationships may shift. Some individuals may welcome the change, while others may feel unsettled by the emergence of stronger boundaries. Such shifts reveal the extent to which previous dynamics were influenced by subconscious obedience. Awareness allows these dynamics to be redefined or released. Developing mental sovereignty involves cultivating trust in one's own perception. This trust does not eliminate uncertainty, but provides a stable foundation for navigating it. With practice, decision-making becomes more fluid. Instead of seeking permission, she consults her values, long-term vision, and intuitive insights. Fear of rejection may still arise, yet it loses its ability to dictate behavior. Emotional discomfort becomes a signal for reflection rather than a command for compliance. This shift enhances personal influence. Others perceive increased confidence and clarity, qualities that often inspire respect and encourage more balanced interactions. Identity evolves as habits of autonomy are reinforced. Each self-directed action contributes to a narrative of capability and independence. Over time, the internal authority figure transforms. Instead of enforcing limitation, it begins to support growth and strategic decision-making. Dark psychological awareness also improves discernment. She becomes more attuned to subtle attempts to shape her choices through guilt, pressure, or emotional manipulation. This discernment allows her to engage selectively, preserving energy for pursuits that align with authentic purpose rather than social expectation. Mental sovereignty is not isolation. It is the ability to participate in relationships and communities without surrendering personal direction. Such participation often feels more fulfilling. Interactions become grounded in mutual respect, rather than dependency or unconscious compliance. Periods of introspection can support this evolution. Solitude provides space to evaluate motivations and recalibrate priorities without external noise. Through reflection, she gains clarity about aspirations that may have been suppressed by earlier conditioning. This clarity informs future choices with greater precision. As psychological autonomy strengthens, risk-taking becomes more intentional. Decisions are guided by values, rather than by fear of disapproval. This intentional risk can lead to new opportunities and experiences that expand identity beyond previously accepted limitations. Resilience grows through these experiences. Confidence becomes rooted in evidence of self-direction, rather than in fluctuating external feedback. Influence also evolves. Others may seek her perspective, recognizing the depth of thought and independence that inform her actions. Despite progress, moments of vulnerability may continue to surface. These moments invite compassion and renewed commitment to conscious choice. Growth is not linear. Old patterns may reappear under stress, yet awareness allows them to be addressed without surrendering hard-earned autonomy. Ultimately, the realization that permission is not always required can feel liberating. It opens the possibility of designing a life aligned with personal vision. This design process involves continuous learning. Each experience contributes to a deeper understanding of self and environment. As identity stabilizes, decision-making becomes more efficient. Clarity reduces internal conflict and supports decisive action. Such decisiveness communicates authority. It reflects a woman who has examined conditioning and chosen to evolve beyond it. Mental sovereignty ultimately transforms perception. Challenges become opportunities for refinement rather than threats to belonging. For women ready to deepen this transformation, structured psychological exploration can provide valuable insight and direction. If you sense a quiet readiness to move beyond inherited patterns and embody a more sovereign identity, you may feel drawn to explore the Feminine Sovereignty Protocol available through the link in the description. It is a selective pathway for those prepared to refine their inner authority and redefine what freedom truly means.